Obviously, a great day for us and all of our sports here today with a fall signing period. It's always fun to get kids who you've created a relationship with, recruited for a long time, and then finally have a signing day where you get a chance to actually talk about them. For us, the three young ladies that signed with us have been kids we've recruited for a long time. A couple of them have been committed for well over a year now. Another one just a few months ago, but somebody we've recruited for years. So feel like we have a really good relationship with all three. Big time class for us. Led by probably Carrington Asp is maybe the first top 100 kid that we've been able to recruit here to NDSU. 6'2" athlete, can play 4 and 5 for us. Physical kid already at a young age. So really high ceiling for Carrington. And just excited to see, she's somebody that is all about it. She already can't wait to get here. We're going to be able to get her here in January. She's going to graduate from high school early and enroll and kind of redshirt second semester so that she can get off and running as a real freshman, next year, which is fun. Haven't had that before with a signee, so be something unique and new for us, but something that her and her family thought was good for her, and we think it's good for her also. Sophie Hawkinson, her dad Bob was an athlete here back in the day, so some connections to NDSU. She's another Wayzata kid where Abby Kay's from. So obviously really good high school program she's coming out of that we respect a lot. Sophie is combo guard, 1-2. Really, she has that dog in her. She is competitive. She's a winner. We've got to watch her hit big shots for her high school and AAU program over and over again the last 2 or 3 years in big moments, so she's not afraid of that. Just a winner in every sense, and she's going to have a fantastic senior year this year. McKenna Johnson out of Mandan is somebody, we watched some tape of her when she was going to be a freshman, so between 8th grade and freshman year. And those traits that you saw then have only improved. She's 6'2", lanky, can really jump, great shot blocker already, and rebounder. She just has great timing and feel for that. So this is a group where these are Midwest kids. They have, the things that we covet, like you feel like they're going to be really good at NDSU. They're just our type of players. They're built for this and where we're at and what we do. So it's just another class that we're stacking on to, this year's freshmen and last year's freshmen that we feel like is going to continue to elevate our program.
You mentioned getting a lot of production this year from the 4s and 5s. Is that something that you kind of see coming to a peak with Carrington coming in, just kind of what she can add in those positions?
Yeah, for sure. Her and McKenna both are going to bring. They're two different players, but are going to be able to, over the course of their career, play together and play off of each other really well in what they both do. Obviously, adding them to Avery and AK and Mariley and that group of players that are there now. It's going to allow us to move some kids probably out of that position too and get bigger on the perimeter. I could easily see Claire and AK, not playing 4 and 5 and being able to be big guards on the perimeter as well. So, Carrington is just one of those players that physically is going to be ready to play, right when it starts, and there's not going to be a lot of catch up for her on that part of it.
I imagine 6'2" makes a pretty big difference maker when you're recruiting, especially in a league like the Summit League. Trying to just get more height in there, is that kind of a focal point for you when you hit the recruiting trail?
Yeah, as soon as we got here, that was a focal point, everywhere. It's easier said than done in some perimeter spots, but trying to get length and size, I think, always the biggest difference when you go play maybe a Power 4 team or a really high-level mid-major, it's, how good is their big? Or multiple bigs, and for the most part, that's the difference. When I was a Division II coach and we'd go play teams, we were usually fine at the guard spot, and we could compete and match up. It was, the size and strength inside where you just weren't able to maybe match up in some spots. So being able to match up with anybody that we play, regardless of school, is something we've been striving for, and these guys are going to help with that.
Obviously a top 100 player. She probably had multiple other, options and whatnot. What went through your mind when she said, "Hey, I want to come here"?
Well, honestly, it wasn't a surprise. I mean, we kind of just hit it off with Carrington. She came and visited here on an unofficial underclassman visit. Yeah, she'd probably be a sophomore. just young, doesn't look like she looks right now, but obviously had traits and things. We try to get them in here on unofficials and have a day and show you around and give everybody a feel. And quite honestly, Coach Michaela Everett on our team and her hit it off in recruiting. And just personality-wise, it was just a good fit for her, a good fit for us. And that's always, something that you're looking forward to. Can you find the kid that really wants to be here because of who she's going to be around and feels comfortable? And she always felt that way. And to be honest with you, she probably didn't blow up into that top 100 kid until this last summer, where she got a chance to play on a bigger AAU circuit in front of a lot of more coaches and players. And by then she was committed to us. So it was fun to watch her go out and kick butt in front of a lot of people and be like, yeah, that one's ours.
What are you excited most about, her game, as she comes in as a, redshirting that for, this next semester, then,
Yeah, I think, she's a versatile kid. She can shoot it. She can drive it. She's really good in transition. She's just athletic. She can go full speed, spin off of you and finish. She can rebound because she's physical. She runs and jumps well. And then she's going to be just really coachable. She has people she works out with that have given her a good foundation and a good base. But, her first semester here, getting to be in practice and then get some individual work and then having a postseason with us, she's going to be able to grow tremendously.
With Sophie coming in, kind of how important is it for you to keep that presence in Minnesota, especially with the talent that you guys have gotten out of that state over the last few years here?
Yeah, if you look at our roster, we have a ton of kids from Minnesota, and it's terrific high school basketball. It's terrific summer AAU basketball. Some of the best programs in the country are right over there. And even ones that, aren't maybe the 1 and 2 tier AAU programs, they're still really, really good programs with a lot of good kids in Minnesota. So, like I said, Sophie's, we've had a relationship with her for multiple years now too, and excited that she's going to continue that trend of getting some Minnesota kids and upper Midwest kids in our program. She knows people on our team already. It's a really good fit for her.
North Dakota player coming in, one of the best ones in the state. How important is that to keep these local players here at NDSU?
Well, that's the goal. We have every year that we've had the opportunity to recruit somebody that we think can be a difference maker for us in state. We've tried to go get them, and McKenna's no different. She's somebody that when she gets in here and gets in the weight room and gets into skill work every day. She's a pretty good volleyball player as well. She is going to grow tremendously. And just having local regional kids, I know what that does for our fan base and for, just generating, excitement in the community that we have one of our own here playing is always a positive.
Like with McKenna, her defense sets her apart. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say right now. She obviously scores a ton in high school because she's a great offensive rebounder, put back, can score in transition. Getting her stretched out and skill work offensively is going to be something we do with every big player. Most bigs come in and aren't that skilled because they don't have to be at the high school level. You just usually bigger, stronger, and jumping over people. But it was really obvious the first time I kind of turned on her tape when she was blocking shots, even as a young player, that her timing and anticipation for it and to be able to do it without fouling was a unique trait that's really, I don't know that you can teach that. And she's really, really good at that. That's showed up every time she's played in high school and in the summer.
Michaela, but also, Dylan Geiser, can you mention the job he's kind of done on the recruiting trail for you since you've gotten here and that caliber of player seems to be good?
Yeah, well, Dylan's been with me for a long time since he was in college, and I think he's got a really good understanding of not only what we look for in players, but personality-wise, really who can be coached by me. And who can, thrive in that environment. There's some people that are great and some people I'm not a good fit for, and really locating those kids at an early age. He's done a fantastic job because I can go into Dylan and ask him, hey, I'll send him a kid. And he's like, yeah, I've been talking to her for a year. Okay, great. Let me get on the phone with her. So he's on the ball on that. He's the one that, I identified Carrington and got us involved with her in the first place. And it's a group effort. All of our coaches do a really good job of just building relationships with players, coaches, and you know, NDSU is not going to be a fit for everybody. No school is, but we get to have conversations with some really high level players because of who we are and because of Fargo and the community and our school in general. You know, there's a positive to that, and that gets us in on everybody, and then they can decide and we decide if it's the right fit or not.